We are racing at the Rudskogen Motorsenter, a 25-lap shootout. Aiden Norman taking off 4 cars, 5 cars, including John Honeybrink, blistering away from the start line. Tristan Catania off in that second position with Virginia's Tommy Withers headed behind him down the hill. Briley Wright in chase, one of those bluegrass bandits following the purple, mint, and white colored trifecta of second, third, and fourth. Aiden Norman leads the way in the 6-2. Race 2 of the second edition of AROC is well and truly underway in the setting sun of Norway. Aiden Norman leading Tristan Catania. Tommy Withers starting to line up a pass. Let's go on board with the Virginian. Tristan Catania losing it all too easily, but he's back under racing speed, and he's got his thing together, trying to put the attack on Virginia's Tommy Withers coming through the first couple of corners. It's a brand new racetrack, this Rudskogen Motorsenter. Bama Tram is in the chat, says, "Hey Rick, Mama Vols." Glad to have you in the chat while we're getting our first Norwegian race underway, the Rudskogen Motorsenter in a place called Rudskogen. Tommy Withers and Tristan Catania nose to tail, but Briley Wright's holding on. He is just lurking in the shadows. Don't sleep on this bluegrass bandit, and Jonathan Honeybrink is doing his best from the 5th position. Looks like he's got a couple of issues. Let's have a look at Tristan Catania. He just fell off the track in front of Tommy Withers. Withers taking advantage of Catania's misstep. Aiden Norman leading the way by an impressive 9 seconds. Tristan Catania and Tommy Withers, these two are going to be the talk of the whole race. Briley Wright's gone around. The Kentucky pilot has lost control of his Holden Commodore. Not a good look for the Bluegrass Bandit. Let's see what happened to him. Ooh, just a little too much throttle and a little bit of front-end contact. Catania's gone around again. There goes the New Jersey pilot, Tristan Catania. Now watching Tommy Withers sail off into the sunset. Not a bad view from either of these race cars. The 21 ahead of the 48 by almost 4 seconds. Briley Wright trailing some, and John Honeybrink, he's closer to Aiden Norman than Tommy Withers is to Aiden Norman. The number 6-2 peeling away and making mincemeat of his competitors so far. Tristan Catania gets ahead of Tommy Withers, who's lost that mint machine. Let's see what happened to the Virginian. Just too much throttle for him as well. The same mistake that Briley Wright made, although he elegantly got his stuff spun around. So now it's Tristan Catania in second, Tommy Withers in third. 2 seconds, the gap between them. Catania runs up the hill with Withers in tow. 2.5 seconds the gap between them. Briley Wright a comfortable distance ahead of John Honeybrink, who is under threat of going a lap down. Matter of fact, there's race leader Aiden Norman. No mistakes now from Aiden. Dominating this race hand over fist. Norman coming down pit road. Tommy Withers. Oh, and there's Tristan Catania overrunning the corner. And that's another mark for Withers, who's leaving the New Jersey pilot in his dust, coming to 21 laps remaining. Aiden Norman, did he take some damage? He's decided to come down pit road for whatever reason. And the North Carolinian allowing Tommy Withers to catch up. And there's the exchange for the lead. Withers overtaking Catania, and your new leader in the mint-colored Holden Commodore, Tommy Withers. Tristan Catania in second. Briley Wright will soon take the third position. And there's the handover. Aiden Norman still getting his tires, his fuel. So now it goes Withers, Catania, Wright, your top three. 20 laps to go next time by. Tristan Catania does not believe in driving within those lines. He just shot off into the corner. Not sure what just happened to him, but apparently he decided he doesn't need any part of that corner there. Aiden Norman on his way out of pit road. Competition caution coming up on lap 14. Keep an eye out for that. Meanwhile, the fight for the lead rages on while Tristan Catania continues to ignore the track limits like they don't exist. Well, that wall exists very much, and he's going to find out just how real that is if he gets any more off those track limits. Tommy Withers leaving him in the dust. 2 1/3 seconds the gap between them. How about Briley Wright, though? Wright catching up, and over the last 5 laps, this is what the gap has been between Briley Wright and Tristan Catania. Well, 4 laps, I should say. That last time around, Catania getting reeled in by Briley Wright. 4.7 seconds now. The gap between them. Tommy Withers with a comfortable gap over Tristan Catania, but now there seems to be less and less daylight between Catania and this man here, one of those bluegrass bandits. Meanwhile, Aiden Norman making that unscheduled stop has him all the way back to the 4th position, 21 seconds away from the podium, and John Honeybrink bringing up the rear. Withers, Catania, Wright, your top 3. Let's go on board with the Bluegrass Bandit, Briley Wright. He's going to take us for a lap around the Rudskogen Motorsenter. Coming around to the final turns, 13, 14, and 15 complex. It's got to be so difficult to see with the sun in your eyes. Even on a sim, it's got to be incredibly difficult. $15 to 20 laps, the expected pit window on how long the tires will last. We'll see if we get any cautions before that. Drivers get 3 maximum tire changes and 1 fast repair in this race. John Honeybrink getting right in Briley Wright's way. And Honeybrink now yields. One second, the gap between them. There is Tommy Withers putting in his best of 129.71. Tristan Catania starting to close that gap. And these two are going to fight for the lead once again. Briley Wright looming in the distance. And 15 seconds adrift of the Kentucky pilot. Aiden Norman leads the way in the 6-2. These two fighting hammer and tongs for the lead. Catania in the 48 trying to take over. Withers in the top spot in that 2-1. Coming down off the mountain, headed through the turns 13, 14, and 15 section. I'll be honest, I think this is, for a lot of people, as Tristan Catania gives up chase, this is the first time seeing this race track and even putting these cars on it in this combination. So we're going to see just who gets along with the track best. John Honeybrink has gone around. Let's see what happened to him. Just taking a leisurely pace, and I think we're going to find out exactly what happened to Honeybrink. You forget the wall was there. Back under somewhat racing speed. Tommy Withers still holding on to the lead. Half a second between him and Catania. Ford versus GM in the hills of Rakkestad, Norway. Tommy Withers just holding off Tristan Catania in that purple-colored Ford Mustang. The Holden Commodore holds tough in the lead. 17 to go this time by. Catania almost throwing it all away. Briley Wright now within 2.25 seconds to the New Jersey pilot. Catania's gone off track. He will give up second place to Briley Wright. And let's see what happened to Tristan. Too much throttle. Stuck in the grass. Briley Wright zooms past the New Jersey pilot, so it goes Virginia, Kentucky, and New Jersey on the podium. North Carolina's Aiden Norman sits in fourth. You already know. That V8 sings beautifully. You were with us last week from the Auto Club Speedway. As Briley Wright loses a little bit of control, you saw Jimmy Kerr take the win in a thrilling, what was going to be a 3-wide finish. It was about a 3-wide drag race for the entire race. Thrill after thrill. It was a sight to be seen, that's for sure. Tristan Catania now chasing Kentucky driver Briley Wright. This is for the silver medal spot. This is what the points look like after the first round of racing. James Kerr not in tonight's lineup. The Pinnell cousins also not a part of tonight's festivities. So the drivers sitting 8th, where you'll find Briley Wright, Aiden Norman sitting in 10th. For Tommy Withers and Tristan Catania, this is their first start in the 6th race AROC run. So they're certainly going to gain points and get themselves closer to the pot, which right now stands at $100. It will increase as the races go on, but we've got at least $100 for our 6th race champion and the crown of AROC's best. Aiden Norman has caught up to the back end of Tristan Catania. How long can the New Jersey pilot fend off the Thursday Night Thunder champion? Norman moves to the inside on the bottom of the hill. Catania's right there, but can he defend? Ford versus Holden again through the uphill section, side by side. This is the fight for that 3rd position. Catania goes wide. Norman moves to the inside, and the green Commodore gets around that purple Mustang, still side by side through the final few corners. And Tristan Catania sends it in deep on the 6-2. And Aiden Norman comes away with that 3rd position. So Briley Wright leads the race. Tommy Withers sits in the 2nd position. Aiden Norman now in third, but look at the fight for the lead right now, up behind Withers. 14 to go this time. Riley Wright sits ahead of Tommy Withers. Aiden Norman in third. Tristan Catania in fourth. Withers ahead of Norman. 14 to go this time by. There goes Tommy Withers. Extremely wide, and now he's going to have to chase Riley Wright once again. Sunlight no longer a factor in the Norwegian hills of Rudskogen Motorsenter. And I'm just impressed by how good looking this racetrack is. It genuinely is a sight to be seen, sim or not. The way those hills flow as Tommy Withers just gives up second place to Aiden Norman, and Withers decides he's going to go around. He's going to spin it right ahead of Tristan Catania and almost come on track to the New Jersey pilot. Withers now has to get going again, and he's going to get back up to race speed, more than 7 seconds behind third place Tristan Catania, and there's the fight for the lead. Riley Wright just ahead of Aiden Norman by 1.5 seconds. 14 laps to go in race 2. As John Honeybrink goes for a massive spill in turn number 1, here comes Riley Wright. Is he going to safely get around Honeybrink? And they will. Not sure what Aiden Norman was trying there. But it goes Holden, Ford, your top 3. Tommy Withers in 4th. And look at the damage on the front end of that Holden. Competition caution coming in 3 laps while these two continue to leap and bound over these hills. Wright, Norman, Catania 10 seconds adrift. Who's gone off the racetrack again? Tommy Withers. With that damage on the race car, it's going to cost. There goes Aiden Norman. There goes Aiden Norman, who got right up to Riley Wright. He lost the car under braking. Have another look at Aiden Norman. Headed down the hill, it just looks like he's going to catch the grass and lose control of the car. Locked it up, went for a slide, but a good save by Norman. He's back on the chase. Lucky number 13 laps to go. Still racing through those hills. Riley Wright ahead of Aiden Norman. Tristan Catania sitting in 3rd. Tommy Withers in 4th. Still nose to tail. This is where Norman lost it last time. He holds onto his line as Tommy Withers goes off track again. Just too much throttle in it. Loses it, and that could be a lack of downforce and more damage now on that 21. Again, competition caution coming up in the next few laps. Riley Wright sits ahead of Aiden Norman. Tristan Catania in 3rd, waiting for the mercy of the yellow rag to wave in the Norwegian sky. Wright pulls away from Norman with a dozen laps remaining in race 2. Shout out Mama Vols. taking care of the spam in the chat as Aiden Norman tries to do it the hard way around Briley Wright. Coming to 11 remaining. Norman Wright side by side up the hill. Golden sunshine gleaming off of both of those Commodores through the final few corners on this 13th lap of competition. Norman, new leader at Rudskogen, and Briley Wright loses control of his race car. Norman 6 seconds ahead. Briley Wright in second. Tristan Catania in third. If you've just tuned in, you're watching race 2 in AROC. There is the competition caution. Norman leads the race. Briley Wright in second. Tristan Catania sits in third. Tommy Withers in fourth, and John Honeybrink in the fifth position. So the North Carolinian and Season 5 Thursday Night Thunder champion will collect the Porsche pace car. We're going to stay with you here. We're going to take a very short break while the field collects itself, and we'll be back for the final 9 or 10 laps in race 2 of AROC at the Rudskogen Motorsenter. Don't go anywhere. Back with you at the Rudskogen Motorsenter. Shout out to the real MT. He says, what's up, Rick? It's been a minute. It has been a minute, man. Good to hear from you. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you for this first race at the Motorsenter. Let's have a word with our race leader, Aiden Norman. See what's up with him. Aiden Norman, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You're leading this race, man, and you grabbed it by the scruff of the neck after almost losing the race car for a couple of corners. Briley Wright, quite a good competitor. Surprisingly, he was the first to show up in practice, and it shows. He's got a great hold of his race car so far, but do you have a better hold of your car leading this race?
I think so, yeah, but I'm not going to take tires here. You see some people going in the back. I'm not sure how much that's going to be worth, but it should be interesting to see how this ends. We're probably going to have 10 to go by the end, so this will be fun.
First race for a lot of these guys on the Rudskogen Motorsenter, for ARCs, for AROC as a whole. What do you think, man? Thumbs up, thumbs down? How do you like this place?
I love the track and the car combination. It's just a blast, to be honest. The cars are really loose, so you can get them around these S's very nicely. You can just chuck it in and hope it grips, and if it doesn't grip, well, you're going off track. But that's the challenge. That's AROC, and that's why we're here.
We're going to keep it on the road courses, too. Next week, we're taking the V8 Supercars home, man. We're going to Oran Park. Another road course that a lot of drivers probably haven't seen. What do you think? How do you fancy your chances there?
Well, for Rudskogen, I actually had some experience with it beforehand, but I've never driven Oran Park, so I'm not actually sure, to be honest.
Well, we're going to find out here. Good luck. We're going to talk to your buddy Briley right behind you, and we're going to see how the rest of the race goes. Keep the shiny side up, man. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
All right, see you, Rick.
I am pretty sure we're going to talk to him at the end. But let's see if he's going to be that last interview. Maybe Briley Wright knows. Briley, Rick James up top. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
You're sitting in second right now. I was just talking to Aiden Norman about how this is the first time a lot of guys have come out here. Definitely the first time you've been here as well, man. And I'll ask you the same question. How do you feel about the track? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
At first, whenever I got out here, I didn't think I was going to like it at all. But after you kind of get the rhythm down, it's actually a pretty fun track. Especially, I don't know if it's maybe the cars or the track or maybe a combination of both. But it gets fun after you start to get the rhythm of everything.
Aiden Norman sitting up there. Do you think you've got a chance to beat him at his own game, Briley? You think you can get a piece of him?
I highly doubt it. I tried to keep him behind me for a little bit, and I was able to do so. But once he got around me, he's just so much faster than I am. I actually spun it out right after he passed me. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what we can do with it. I'll try my best.
That's all you can do, man. Keep that up, man. And same thing as Aiden, man. Keep the shiny set up, and we'll see what order we talk to you, man. Enjoy the rest of the race.
Alrighty. See you, buddy.
New Jersey's Tristan Catania sits in the 3rd position right now behind Aiden Norman and Briley Wright. Tristan, so far it's a thumbs up from your 2 competitors ahead of you. How do you feel about this racetrack tonight?
I actually really enjoy it, Rick. I just suck at track limits. That's always my limit. My problem, track limits when it comes to road course. I just overdrive it.
Yeah, we can see that.
Fun. I know you can.
I mean, it
That's
looks
okay.
fun, though. It's definitely a scenic racetrack. It's a brand new racetrack as well. As far as points go, you're definitely going to collect some good points tonight no matter what happens. It's going to be great for everybody involved. And then next week, we're going to Oran Park, which is going to be another new road course for a lot of these guys. Do you think practice is going to be more necessary there than here?
That's a good question. Possible, just because there's so many configurations, so no one knows really. Yeah, there's a lot of ins and outs on that track, I guess.
Well, there's going to be lefts and rights here as well. And it looks like the restart's being waved off. Okay, so we're going to restart here inside the final 10 laps. Matter of fact, it's going to be, what, 7 laps to go when we get this green flag. You're going to be sitting in 3rd. Can you take down Briley Wright? What do you think?
I think so. Aiden Norman, probably not, even though he's on old tires. He's just really fast. I might be able to take down Briley, but keep it clean.
You can't forget about Tommy Withers. You can't forget about John Honeybrink as well. They're coming back up through. Well, Honeybrink's going to be a lap down, but you got to give him his flowers for trying. But Tommy Withers is coming up back behind you as well. So it's a fight to be on the podium. And your two biggest rivals in this race are going to be ahead and behind, man. So the focus has got to be on for sure. Who's going to be your toughest, who's going to get in your way the most to get to 2nd?
That's for sure. I just want to shout out to John Honeybrink's rabbit, who ate through his power cord or whatever, so that's why he's on a controller right now.
I was listening. I still don't believe him. I was listening to this story in practice just like you were, and I still don't believe that a rabbit chewed his cable. But that's his story, and we're sticking to it. So shout out Honeybrink's rabbit for keeping him in that 5th position, Tristan. Keep the shiny set up, man. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Let's bother Tommy Withers and see what he's up to. Withers, Rick James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
You're sitting in 4th right now, man. You're making your AROC 2 debut in that mint-colored machine. What do you think about this racetrack, man? You think it's going to be popular, or you think it's a dud?
It's not a bad racetrack, honestly. The setup's been pretty neutral. It's just I think none of us are quite accustomed to it. Aiden seems to be on a class of his own, but all of us seem to be around the same pace, and it's made it pretty fun.
Next week at Oran Park, and then the final 3 weeks of AROC are going to be 2 ovals, Homestead and the finale at Kansas, and then in the middle of that, you're going to have Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, the Montreal GP. Will we see you next week at Oran Park for more fun in these V8 monsters, and where do you think your strongest race is going to be?
Yeah, definitely I plan to be in the field from here on out. just gonna try to limp my way through the road courses and hopefully we can put on the show the ovals.
Well, you know, we got money on the line. We're going to have a couple more prizes for second and third. Like I told Tristan, this is going to be a good points day. But that second place is up for grabs between Tristan, you, and Briley. It's bragging rights. It's going to be the silver medal that's on the line and some really good points headed into next week. Do you think you have a shot at second place? Do you think you have a shot at the race win? Aiden Norman is human after all.
Race win, no. Second place, maybe. I think it's going to get a little aggressive here. I expect to see a lot of cars off track, and last man standing will finish second to 8.
Hey, we got 3 green-white checkered attempts, and it is 7 laps to go. So let's see what you guys got, man. Focus up and keep that shiny side up. Let's see what happens.
Yes, sir.
Good, one more lap.
Nope. I guess not. I guess we're going 1 more lap. So we're going to restart here with 6 laps to go. And you're headed down pit road. So you got some strategizations, some little trickerations cooking in your camp.
I read the car really hard trying to catch the field. So we're going to get
So-
1 more lap, then I might as well be in.
Get those fresh tires on for one last restart. You're going to need them.
That's the plan.
All right, man. We'll talk to you at the end here. We'll see what's up.
Thanks, Rick.
While we're at it, let's bother John Honeybrink. Honeybrink, Rick James in the booth. First of all, any words about your rabbit?
Oh, I'm a little angry at him. He's a good rabbit.
Say that again, Honeybrink. We lost you there.
Oh, I said I'm a little mad at him right now, but overall he's an awesome rabbit.
What's his name?
He, Fufu.
Fufu the rabbit ate your steering wheel cable, and
Yes.
that's why you have to race on a controller tonight.
Yes, believe it or not, this is factual.
Now, credit where credit is due. You're showing up, you're doing your thing, and I strongly believe that you're going to end up in a top 5 position tonight, John.
I know, I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm on a controller right now, first time on a controller, first time at this track, and I'm gonna walk away with a top 5.
It's pretty impressive, and by the looks of it, with Tommy Withers still chilling in pit road, you might just walk away with the top 4. I got no idea what's going to happen here, John, but anything is possible,
Right?
and we're going to see.
No, this is great.
We're going to see what happens. About the track, though, man, what do you think? You like Rudskogen, you don't like it? What are your thoughts?
Actually, really like it. I like the lines you can get here. I wish I had my wheels so I could see what kind of actual lap time I would get, but I like the track. Overall, it's nice. Turns are good. I do not like the if you overdrive a turn, it says you cut the corners and get a penalty instead of going off track. Other than that, I like it.
Seems to be a consensus with most drivers that they like the racing. We'll see what happens if we get this restart, if they'll wave it off. We know Tommy Withers is trying to catch back up, and it looks like we're going racing, Honeybrink. Shiny side up, and good luck.
All right, thanks.
They're going to throw the green flag once again. Aiden Norman is your race leader with 6 laps to go. Norman ahead of Catania. You can't run it wide now. Riley Wright sits behind them, headed down the hill. Catania with a great passing opportunity. Really hard on the brakes, sending it down through that hill. Norman, Catania, right your top 3. Honeybrink sitting in 4th ahead of Tommy Withers, who's gotten it moving again. 11 seconds behind Honeybrink. Norman running away with this one, and Catania ahead of Wright by only 1.5 seconds. Riley trying to get the correct line to catch up to his New Jersey rival, Tristan Catania, who's falling off the racetrack. All the while, Aiden Norman runs away with the top spot, and Wright starting to see that mauve glow under the red sunlight of that setting Norwegian sky. 6-2, 4-8, 8 your top 3. It's 5 to go this time by. Norman crosses the line. Catania watches right, start to creep up in the distance. Tommy Withers has gone around in the pursuit of John Honeybrink. Let's go on board with Briley Wright while he chases the smoky Tristan Catania, who sends it in way too deep on Aiden Norman. Catania surely has cut the racetrack. Is he going to give that up? Has he shaken Norman off the track? It's still a drag race for the lead. Down the hill. Norman trying to make it work on the outside of Catania. Will they make contact on the way back up? Catania now trying to fend off right. They're moving down that hill. There you see Withers in the distance, just trying his hardest to catch up while Tristan Catania and Briley Wright now go at it for second. Withers has crashed again. We'll catch up to Tommy Withers in just a moment. Now 37 seconds off the pace of John Honeybrink. Catania, 0.3 of a second ahead of Briley Wright. Briley Wright watching second place just slip away while the silence sinks through the hills, but Catania is one mistake away from giving up that silver medal spot. Aiden Norman leading the race by 3 seconds over both Catania and Wright. Honeybrink and Withers both a lap down, battling for that 4th spot. Versus GM for the second position with 3 laps to go at the 2-mile circuit. Briley Wright gives it just too much into turn number 1. Is that the battle there? Tristan now going to defend Wright, who looks like he's gone around again. He stamps on the throttle, spins his white number 8 Commodore in frustration, and he charges off into the sunset. Ranking on that wheel. Smoke up ahead as Aiden Norman gone off the track. Aiden Norman goes off the racetrack ahead of Tristan Catania. A mistake from the Thursday Night Thunder champion as the New Jersey pilot sends it in deep and passes for the lead. 2 laps to go. Norman to the inside. Catania running away with this one as Norman wiggles under the acceleration. Let's see what happened to Aiden Norman. Too much throttle, the same mistake that's plagued Catania and Norman this evening. 4 miles to go, and it's Ford versus GM for the win. Norman almost in full opposite lock. White flag is out next time by. Catania sitting ahead of Norman. Going through turns 11 and 12, there goes Catania. He's lost control of the race car again. Aiden Norman to the lead with the white flag in the air, this time by. Briley Wright 10 seconds off the pace, while Norman and Catania speed away, but it's not over yet. Norman has made a mistake before. He can make the same mistake again. Holden leading forward with just over 2 miles to go. White flag in the air now for Aiden Norman. Norman, Catania, 1-2. Riley Wright sitting in third. Tommy Withers gets around John Honeybrink. Let's have a look at that. This is the move for fourth. Honeybrink just goes wide, gives Withers all the room in the world, and that's all he needed. Aiden Norman 2 seconds ahead of Tristan Catania. Riley Wright 10 seconds off of them. It looks like it's going to be a Holden Ford Holden podium in race number 2 if Aiden Norman can keep his car pointed in the right direction. Honeybrink with one last crash to amuse the masses. At Rudskogen, Aiden Norman now coming around him. Let's make sure there's no contact between Norman and Honeybrink, and there isn't, as Tristan Catania gives a bit of a tail slide out of the final corners. Aiden Norman, from start to finish, had a tight grip. When he made the mistakes, he paid for them, but he's worked his way back up to the front. Race number 2 of AROC will go to North Carolina's Aiden Norman. Tristan Catania with a well-earned second place. Riley Wright in third. Right to get around the fifth place, John Honeybrink. Aiden Norman, Tristan Catania, Briley Wright, your top 3 with a little bit of congratulations bump and run for them. Tommy Withers will come around to collect the checkered flag in the 4th position. So that's going to do it for the race. We're going to collect our podium and we're going to interview those top 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a bit. On the podium with our top 3, starting with one of those Bluegrass Bandits, and he showed out for his Bandits tonight. Briley Wright with a 3rd place finish at a very difficult AROC race tonight.
Yeah, it took a little bit to learn the track. It's kind of confusing at first, but I kind of got it figured out. I thought I was going to be able to make a move on Tri-Strand there to get 2nd place from them, and I locked the brakes up, and then whenever I lost all that time, I just couldn't get back to them. But for a minute there, I saw 1st and 2nd right in front of me, and I let it get away from me.
Monday night, we're going to have the Mazda MX-5s on the Las Vegas Oval. And then next Thursday, we're taking these V8 supercars to Australia for a race at Oran Park. What does your schedule look like next week? Will we see you there?
Yeah, you'll see me there.
All right, buddy. We'll see you flying that flag strong for the bluegrass state of Kentucky. Congratulations on third. Let's go to New Jersey's Tristan Catania with a silver medal tonight. Tristan, you were all over the place, but you managed to collect yourself enough for a second-place finish.
Yeah, that's about right. I didn't have anything for Aiden at the end. That's all.
He was pretty
But
strong.
I'm happy with it.
I mean, but come on, it's Aiden Norman. He was incredibly strong tonight.
It took everything not to go straight at that last corner and punt him. But I'm a better person than that.
You know what?
That would have just been fun.
he's already gotten punted on Monday night with the MX-5. So tonight, I think we take it easy on Aiden. But I'll tell you what, headed into next week at Oran Park, you're tied for 5th in the points with Cody Pennell with 14 points.
Not bad, not bad.
We'll see you next week at Oran Park, Tristan. Congratulations on second.
Thanks,
sorry.
Rick.
Now with our race winner and our new points leader, Aiden Norman, you're going into Oran Park next week in a 3-way tie for first with Briley Wright and John Honeybrink.
Yeah, that's. I just looked at it before you said that, and that's a little shocking, but I'm also really happy because that's gonna make for some exciting racing for the rest of the season because we're all close on points right now. There's no reason we can't finish it out that way, and especially if we all keep showing up and just doing our thing. I mean, big shout out to Honeybrink, by the way, because he showed up, his wheel wasn't working, so he hopped on a controller with no practice whatsoever, and he raced it all the way out. I mean, that's just big respect on a night when there weren't that many drivers. That's huge.
I mean, shoot, apparently he can get the job done on a wheel or a controller, so shouts to John Honeybrink as well, man. That was despite the turnout, it was still a lot of fun to watch. Monday, we're going to have the MX-5s at Las Vegas, and then next week, we're going to bring these things back to Oran Park. You're going to go for 2 wins in a row, and the pot for now still stands at $100. You got a good chance to, well, I mean, you're tied for first with 2 other drivers that were in this race, so your chances to win at the end of race 6 are pretty good.
Yeah, we can hope so, but I mean, racing is racing. It's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen out on track. There's always chance that you clip someone the wrong way and you end up sideways or in the wall, and there goes your championship hopes, you know. So you just got to take it one race at a time. I learned that from TNT last season.
We'll see if you can rack up 2 championships in a calendar year, but for now, go celebrate that win, Aiden. We'll see you Monday night for the MX-5s at Vegas.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
Fans at home, that wraps it up. And again, despite the low turnout, it was still thrilling racing. And if you don't know by now, we'll say it one more time. Mazda MX-5s racing the Oval at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That's going to be Monday night right here on Rick James TV. Don't miss that. And shout out to all the folks watching on iRoc TV as well. Shout out to Stan Carnathan. Shout out to Brian Rick as well. And shout out to everybody that makes this possible. But most of all, you, the fan, because without you, none of this is possible. So until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do